Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, and welcome to Throwback Thursday. Look what I got behind me today. Now y'all may have just seen this bike in a video the other day, and I called it a TR5 in that video by accident. I knew it was a TR6. This is a TR6, but you know, life goes on, right? So we're going to talk about this hot rod. We're going to try to get you some good information on it. I did a bunch of computering and a bunch of talking and a bunch of yapping with some people who are supposed to know stuff. And I'm going to share with you what I found out, okay? First off, this is a TR6, and this says it's a, I don't know what that is, but that's a 500 right there. And look at that, it's a 64. Look at the paint, the style, it's a good looking bike. Very similar, but look at this thing. So, this is a 1965 TR6 trophy. We think it's an SR, which stands for Road Sport. SR, Road Sport, backwards, but let's start with the engine. How do you identify an engine on one of these? I just got done talking to the, they got a machine shop back there, and the machinist, and he said the first thing you look for, check out the front of the engine right here for this nose. He said that's a hollow nose. Instead of having a plate like that bike would have, this has that. Next thing was you could check for the distance between these areas here. You know, again, if you look at the shifter on the 500 over here, they're right up against each other. There's a better view of it. So here we got a space. This is a unit motor, by the way. Another thing was the shape of the barrels and heads. Very angular, very, you know, modernistic, I suppose, versus this more roundish shape. And then check out the just the overall shape of the Triumph part itself. That's kind of the same there, but isn't that pretty? And of course there's fins on the heads here, or over here we don't have those. Very different over there. Another item that was pointed out to me was the cases. See how these are kind of a roundish, less angular. I don't know if you would call those prettier than these. I think these are prettier. Not that that matters, but you know, this has got more lines, angles. It's got these two bolts here, which that one did not. So yeah, there's quite a bit of difference. The TR6 had a single Amal 28 millimeter or 1 1/8 inch carburetor. Monoblock, let's see if that's what that is. I believe that's a monoblock. Somebody had posted that they should have a dual carburetor, and my understanding is the dual carburetors were reserved for these bikes here. This is a 64 Bonneville 650, and here we have dual carbs. Isn't that a pretty bike? We'll do a video on that one if we have time. Not today, but another day. But so one of the neat things about this bike is it's a, well, it's just gorgeous. That's one of the key things. I just throw that right. By the way, let's just go through the details. It's a 4-speed transmission. It's about 8.5 to 1 compression, 9 to 1 compression, depending on where you read. It's got a overhead valve, so the cams are down here. The I think I mentioned already, 4-speed transmission. The engine and the transmission are all hooked together here. Let's see what we got on this side. Just a piece of art in my mind. Here's a tack drive right here. Just an absolutely glorious machine. We'll get into this here in a minute. I'm trying to look at the engine for now. I think I read that the horns were moved from under the seat to right here on this year. Please notice the blue line. There was some discussion about that. And the tribute bike or clone bike or whatever y'all want to call it, that has the blue line as well. That's a 2005 Bonneville that's been made to match this motorcycle. And I've got a video about that back there somewhere. But just a glorious, glorious machine. So let's just move on a little bit more about the details. It's supposed to have 8-inch brake in the front, single leading shoe. That's what that is. A very good looking brake, by the way. How it works, I don't know. And the rear is supposed to be a, by the way, it's a full shoe on the front. The rear is a 7-inch, I believe. Tire on the front is a 3 1/4 by 19, a 4-inch by 18 on the rear. And I love the spoke wheels. Just a glorious, glorious looking, you know, just, I get all emotional about these things. I love them. Moving along, 4-gallon gas tank, that's about 15 liters. Wheelbase on these hot rods was about 55 and a half inches. It's 1,385 millimeters. And seat height was supposed to be about 32 and a half inches, which is 825 millimeters, and about 5 inches of ground clearance. It's on the center stand now, of course. Now here's a really cool number. The weight of this motorcycle is, the dry weight, was supposed to be about 363 pounds, or about 165 kilograms. So that with 42 horsepower, that's a pretty good running machine. You know, I don't know what the top speeds of these are supposed to be, but I would guess you'd do 100. Who knows? I mean, my Himalayan with 25 horse will do 82, 83, so 24 horse. But isn't that just a gorgeous, gorgeous machine? So I did learn there were, basically there's a TR6, which is like the generic model for all of this. Then there's the SS model, which I really couldn't find much information on. There was the TR6 SR, which we think this is, which is a road sport version. And that's what we think this vehicle is. And then there was the SC, which we found a couple different pictures of it. It had high pipes that ran across here. Some had mufflers on it, some had lights, some did not have lights. There's a big, you know, some people say, oh, on the East Coast it came with lights, or on the West Coast it came with lights. And, you know, I just don't know the answer to that. And with Triumphs, you know, there are no absolutes. The world of Triumph is not full of absolutes. The SC was a competition sport, so SC, but it's competition sport. And they all had a single carburetor, by the way. Oh, let's see, what else? Well, let's put away the list and just kind of look the bike over. So to my eye, first off, when I think of a beautiful classic motorcycle, this is what comes to my mind. This, you know, the pipe sticking out at the angle, the finned heads, the gorgeous tank, the badging, the chrome, you know, the tall, long fender, the spoked wheels that are chrome, the drum brakes, you know, the oil tank, the visible oil air filter, I mean, sorry. Just a wonderful, wonderful machine. And this example of one is just, you know, it's been restored, and I don't know who did the restoration. I'll try to find that out. Maybe I can put that below. But it's just a phenomenal job. Every piece of this thing is just, you know, they've got the boots, the paint job is right, the stripe. I can't remember, I think it's like Alaskan white and something gold. But just absolutely gorgeous. You know, the knee padding, you know, this little piece right here, you know, the tank, that thing, this little strip right down the middle, you know, just gorgeous everything. Absolutely beautiful in every way. You know, coming back here to the rear end, the Triumph on the seat, the gray top, the gray edge on the bottom, this beautiful taillight, and of course the stripe. You know, moving along here, yeah, you know, I'll know I'm going to play with it, the brake. Look at that adjuster on the rear, the shape of that thing, kind of a rocket ship shape thing. And here's the microelectronics from the era for the brake light. Very nice done indeed. I just love it. Center stand on this model. I don't see a side stand. Just a beautiful thing. Now coming up here, I don't know if that's an original mirror or not, but clutch, of course, adjuster right there. Ah, that's the horn. Not sure what this is. Maybe the high-lows, maybe. Choke on this side, brake, gas. Not sure what any of that is. Now looking at the gauge, Smith gauges. We've got a guy here just down the road from here, Smith's Works with a E, smithsworks.com, and he does restorations or repairs of these gauges if you're interested in anything like that. Ammeter up here, just phenomenal looking motorcycle. Isn't that just gorgeous? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Petcock on each side of the tank. One open, one closed. No, they're both closed. But just a gorgeous, gorgeous machine. I love just look at that front end. Absolutely beautiful. Now I want to just try to show you a little bit of this one real quick. This one says it's a 64. I'm not really good with paint, but this looks like a faded paint. There's the blue stripe. You know, that's a really good looking machine. Looks like it's ready for somebody's workshop. And then I already showed you the Bonneville over yonder. Absolutely beautiful bikes, absolutely beautiful bikes. If y'all are interested in anything like this, need parts, information, need a whole motorcycle, there's over, I think we counted one day, there was something like 62 or 65 classic bikes in this room alone. Tritons, Nortons, Triumphs, BSAs, more Nortons, a whole slew of Triumphs through here. I think there's an Ariel on the end over there. There's a Matchless right there. 500 Triumphs here. I think these are BSAs all the way up along this area here. And over yonder, there's some stuff that's not for sale. Old Royal Enfields. Just beautiful, beautiful. And Baxter's has, oh gosh, they got buildings full of parts for these. But they're the biggest parts supplier in North America. BaxterCycle.com. If you need any help with your project, get a hold of these guys. Anyway, if it's a nice day out where you're at, get out there and ride, my friends. Wahoo!